Hey, Alexus Love Beauties and Flawless Man. Today we're going to be speaking about leaving all that you have, leaving all that you know, pick up your cross and follow God because that's the best way to go. So I was watching Nino Brown, and you can follow him on YouTube. He's a powerful young man, a motivational speaker as well. Doing work for the kingdom of God as well. And I wanted to read to you a couple of notes that I took from one of his videos I was just watching. He said, real is extremely hard to find. You have to collect that. You can't mistreat that. You can't disrespect that. You can't ignore real. Real is the light, and light is the truth, and the truth is hard to find. Real is rare. Fake is everywhere. You can play real, but you will be exposed. If you got something real, hold on to it. If you lose it, it might not come back, and you'll never find another one. When God sends you something real and you let it go, God will punish you with fake for the rest, and you will spend the rest of your life looking for real. You can't waste your real on fake people. You wonder why you don't have a man? It's because he don't live by the standards that you live by. You wonder why you don't have a woman? It's because they're sweating the internet for attention. They're built on soil, not on rock bottom. You can't put real in someone who don't have the capacity to receive it. Sweetheart, I thought that was just very powerful. That really resonated with my spirit. And it goes into what we're speaking about, because a lot of the times people don't, people will say that, oh, I know you're real. Oh, I know you're different. And, it's a 1 in a million type of thing. And people will still leave. I wanted to just start this with the disclaimer. If people still leave, let them leave, because everyone can't go everywhere that God has for you to go. And it's not that they didn't have the opportunity to. They just didn't have the capacity to receive all of you. And so we're going to get started here, because it also ties into what God is saying. We're going to get started in Matthew chapter 4, verses 19 through 22. Leave your family. Leave your family. They may not understand what's going on. They don't understand the capacity of what's going on. And so it don't matter. You're just going to have to walk away from them. This is where we see the first example at. In Matthew chapter 4. Verse 19 through 22. And it says, and he said unto them, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. And they straightway left their nets and followed him. And going on from thence, he saw another 2 brethren, James and the son of Zebedee, and John his brother, in a ship was Zebedee their father, mending their nets, and he called them. They immediately left the ship and their father and followed him. Right here in Matthew, it's speaking about when Jesus is telling them, hey, y'all ain't been getting no fish out here. They've been like, oh man, we've been out here fishing. We've been throwing our nets down. We just gonna keep on waiting. Maybe the water ain't picked up good. Maybe we ain't in the right region. We just gonna move this location. God is telling them, he said, look, I need you to drop what you're doing, stop what you're doing, and follow me. Because instead of you trying to be a fisherman, you're going to be a fisher of men. You're going to be able not to just fish. You're going to be able to fish in abundance and multiply the fish. You're going to be able to teach people how to fish. So I need you to come from this small place, and I need you to follow me, and then you'll receive more fish. They left down their nets. They was like, okay, we about to leave this right here. We about to follow him, because he said he know where the fish are for real. They left their father on the boat. They left everything. Ain't no bye, dad. We'll see you later. Like, we'll talk to you on the flip side. We about to go get this. Ain't no none of that. They didn't say none of that. He said they left their nets and they followed him. He seen 2 other men. He said, come and follow me. And immediately they left their father. They left the ship. They left their clothes. They left their food. They left everything. And they said, we about to follow him. That is what God has been saying to us for the longest. Leave. Just leave. And follow him. Don't worry about it. Your net probably is too small to be trying to catch fish anyway. Don't worry about it. The ship you was standing on probably was too small anyway and probably was about to get ready to sink. Don't worry about it. Your father, he gonna be all right. You walking with God. Don't worry about it. They left their father. They left the ship. They said, we better go turn up with him because we about to get some real fish, some real meat. Okay, now let's back up. Now we're going to go to Matthew chapter 10, verses 17 through 22. Oh, man. It's juicy over here, honey. Now, let me back up. Because I believe that... Let me back up real quick. Okay, honey, we don't need to back up. So we Matthew chapter 10, verses 17 through 22, and it says, but beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the council, and they will scourge you in their synagogues, which is witchcraft. And they shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. But when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in the same hour what ye shall speak. For it is not what ye shall speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death. Going back right there, 17 through 23. Nope, excuse me. We got one more. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved. But when they persecute you in the city, flee ye into another. For verily I say unto you, ye shall not go over the cities of Israel till the Son of Man be come. He said, look, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. When you start going the other way, when you start walking away, when you start leaving your father, you start leaving everything, and you take up your cross and you walk for God and you walk with God, he's saying they're going to give you up. Oh, yeah, people going to be snitching. You know, they're going to be giving up information. They're going to be telling people like, hey, did you know this about him? Hey, did you know that about her? Like, girl, I don't even think she really verified for you. You shouldn't be listening to her for real. Like, you got to just, they're going to give you up to the council. They're going to give you up to the governor. People are going to turn their back on you when you go the other way, when you begin to walk with God. He said, when you get delivered up, see, it's you giving a testimony. That's what you're doing when you walk with God. You're not being like everybody else, keeping your mouth closed, just holding in all of this pain, feeling like, okay, eventually one day I'm going to be healed. Eventually one day this going to work, because faith without works is dead. You're not sitting around just thinking and hoping on the wishing star. That's not what you're doing. You're actually doing work, and you going with God. You stopped doing things. You made certain sacrifices to be healthier, to be, more loving. You're actually putting the work in, and people are going to be mad about that. So he's saying, hey, they're going to deliver you up. They're going to give you to the council, all due to your testimony, but it's for my sake, right? And then he also said, don't worry about what you should say. He told that to Moses. He told that to Jeremiah. He told that to a handful of his men. He said, don't worry about what you will say. Don't worry about what you will do. Don't worry about the plan. Don't worry about anything. He said, go forth. Do what I told you to do. Do what I asked you to do. You want to know why? Because you don't have to worry about what you'll say, because the Spirit of the Lord that's on the inside of you, he's going to speak on your behalf. Okay. He said, your own father will give you up. Your brother will give you up. It's going to be parents against children. Like, we see this going, these are the things that now we continue to still ignore. You can't just continue to go on and ignore things like it's not happening for real. This is really happening for real. And you're seeing it with your own eyes. The moment that you try and go another way, people are going to try and come against you. But God says down here, let's go on. to Matthew chapter 10, verses 24 through 32. But when they persecute you in this city, flee yet to another. And verily I say unto you, ye shall not have gone over the cities of Israel till the Son of Man be come. The disciple is not above his master, nor the servant above his Lord. It is enough for the disciple that he be as his master, and the servant as his Lord. If they have called the master of the house Beelzebub, how much more shall they call them in his household? Fear them not, therefore, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, and hid that shall not be known. You know how people be like, whatever done in the dark gonna come to the light. What I tell you in darkness, that speak ye in light, and what ye hear in the ear, that preach ye upon the housetops. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him that is able to destroy both the soul and the body in hell. And not to sparrow are not two sparrows sold for a farthing, and one of them shall not fall on the ground without your Father? But the very hairs on your head are all numbered. Fear ye not, therefore, ye are more value than many sparrows. Whatsoever there shall confess me before man, him I will confess also before my Father which is in heaven. But whosoever shall deny me before men, him I will also deny before my Father which is in heaven. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I am come not to send peace, but of a sword. He said, look, when you walk away from your family, when you walk away from your friends, when you walk away from demonic activity, when you walk away and you pick up your cross and you follow God because he told you to let down your neck because he have more things for you. He said people are going to begin to give you up because of your testimony. People are going to come. They're going to try and make you sound bad. They're going to try and bring up your past, things that hurt you, to re-bring pain and everything all over again. He said, but look, be strong. Don't be afraid. It's going to get a little rocky, but this is all for God's sake. This is all for God's sake, right? He said, whatever you hear with your ear, whatever God tell you to do, that's what you go back and speak. And you speak that from the housetops, right? God said that don't be afraid of people. Don't be afraid of them that can kill the body. We worry about the body a lot when there's a soul at stake, because this is a spiritual warfare that we're living through. He said you need to be afraid of the one that can kill both. Like, we need to be afraid of God that could take, you know how parents say, and this is wild too, when parents say, I brought you in this world, I could take you out of this world. Don't be scared of her saying that. Don't be scared of your daddy saying that. If they put their hands on your numbered hairs, they'll have to see about God. Don't be afraid of them saying that. You want to know why? Don't fear them that can kill the body, but they can't kill the soul. You need to be scared of God that can kill both and send them to hell, right? So when parents say that, I mean, that's a red flag right there. That's all out of the water right there, because you gay. Parents mean that you're rented. Give me just a second. I didn't even put my phone on vibrate. See, I'm starting to look at words differently. Like, for some reason, words are starting to like pop out with more meaning. When I looked at parent the other day, I seen the rent in it. P-A-R, rent. So I'm thinking of parent, and this is what parents are, right? It's supposed to be a pair of people. It's supposed to be a man and a woman, right? And they're supposed to be together, but they're probably not. So that's probably why the I is not in pair, okay? And the rent part, if you separate that, then I'm looking at it like that's how you can probably get like you can get like one parent. But it was just the end part for me. It was the rent part. We have to understand that we are renting all of this stuff. We're borrowing all of this stuff. None of this stuff can go with us when we leave. God said he don't want your silver. He don't want your gold. He don't want the temples that you built that he didn't tell you to build. He don't want your bloody robes because he didn't tell you to do none of that stuff. God don't want none of that crap. He said he wants you to build a relationship with him. He wants you to build a relationship with him. He wants you to trust him. Take up your cross and walk. Endure to the end. Love and follow the commandments. That's it. It's simple. Be sober and vigilant so you can know what's going around. So you can know what's going on. Don't be around time. I mean, God only asks simple things of us, and it is kind of difficult because we've been so accustomed to different things. But this is where he's saying, forget about the fish that you've been catching. Forget about the information that you've been learning and come and follow me. There's new information. There's new fish. This is a whole new shit. Leave your family behind, right? Because these people can give you up. These people can give you up. It's probably easier for your family to give you up because they feel like they know more information about you anyway, right? Don't be afraid of them. Don't be afraid. When people begin to talk about you, words do hurt. Don't be afraid of them. You walk with God. You are with God. No man could be against you. It's just wild because it's like we're renting so much stuff and we're not even paying attention to it. You know, people put so much before life, and it's disgusting. It's disgusting and it's sad. You'll put shoes before health. You'll put food before health. Like, I mean, I'm a victim of it, but we have to change. We have to change, and we don't want to keep on doing the same thing and keep on ignoring God and not doing what he asking us to do, because he's not going to keep on giving us grace, especially if he know that we plan on his spirit. God know our heart, so we can be fake all we want to. And what did he say? The things that's done in the dark gonna come to the light. That's exactly what he said. So you can keep being fake all you want to. You might as well just be real. You might as well just confess to God what's going on and be real right now while you got the opportunity to, right? Then we're going to go to Matthew chapter 10 verses 14. He said, and whosoever shall not receive you, nor hear your words, when ye depart out of that house or city, shake off the dust of your feet. Verily I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of judgment than for that city. God said, look, when you do what he tell you to do, and you walk away from things that you're supposed to walk away from, you don't have to dust your shoulders off. And you don't have to keep on pushing it. When you move from that city, when you move from that house, when you move like God tell you to move, you just gonna have to shake it off. You just gonna have to shake it off. The family that's not there, you gonna have to shake them off. The friends that's not there, you just gonna have to shake them off. The relationships that didn't work, you just gonna have to forget about it. Just dust it off. You're gonna have to keep going. Endure to the end. That's what that means. You have to keep going. He said, look, verily I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of judgment than for that city. He's saying if somebody don't receive what it is that you're saying, they don't hear what it is you're saying, do what God is telling you to do and move forth and dust it all off and keep it pushing. He compared this to, he said it's going to be more tolerable for the city of Sodom and Gomorrah in judgment day than somebody else probably right next to you, not listening or not wanting to hear or deceiving you and manipulating you, than Sodom and Gomorrah. That's pretty thick. Let me just make sure I'm saying it correctly. If they don't receive your words, you need to depart from them. Hey mom, I think I'm ready to go to school. Hey dad, I've been thinking about, I really been thinking about being like a lumberjack or something. You know, the dudes that cut down trees. I've been thinking about that for the longest. Boy, if you don't get out my face, I don't even think you need school. Why do you feel like you need school? Like, you already went to school, like grade school, elementary school. Like, I was there. Like, we was there. Then your dad, like, man, I don't even think you need to be cutting down no trees, boy. Like, you know how dangerous it is to cut down trees? It's all type of bugs and everything. You know what? I think you should just chill it out. Like, why you ain't trying to link up with your friends and do what they doing, right? He said, people can't hear your words. Depart from them and keep it pushing. You're just gonna have to dust that off and keep it pushing. Girl, I think I want to be a nail tech. A nail tech. Girl, you don't even know how to paint your nails. You're gonna have to drop her, dust her off, and keep it pushing. You're gonna have to keep it pushing. God said it's gonna be more tolerable in the day, in the land of Sodom and Gomorrah in Judgment Day than it is the city. What I'm getting out of that, and I want you to read this as well so you can get your own revelation, but what I'm getting out of that is God is saying that people not hearing you, and that's okay. People still are doing deceptive things, doing demonic things, and that's okay. You're going to have to dust that off. You're going to have to heal. You have to heal, right? That's what I'm getting from that you have to heal, and you have to dust it all off. Just forget about everything. And we'll talk about that another day, because things is not as easy as people be saying. Just forget about it, just walk away. You need to get out your feelings. Stuff is not that easy. And I'm gonna be the first to say it, because I don't like when people say that, like, girl, just forget about him. Girl, just, you don't gotta be her friend. Like, as if you haven't spent decades with them people. It don't matter if you spend a day with somebody, you got a soul tie with them. So things take time, and you have to do certain things to break certain things. We'll talk about that on another day. But if they not hearing you, you need to get out that city. You need to go ahead and go on about your business, go forth, and just dust that off. Now we're gonna go. A lot of the reading is from right here in Matthew. But now we're going to go over to, Genesis. We're going to go over to Genesis. And now we're going to talk about, the reason, I'm going to tell you the reason why. This is the revelation I get. The reason why God wants you to leave certain things is because He knows the heart of these people. God knows the dangers of these people. God knows the real intent of these people. And like I said, it's easier said than done than somebody just saying break up out that relationship or leave them alone or do this or do that. You have to understand that people have done spells on you. People have done witchcraft by the things that they were saying in that relationship. So there's different bondages and strongholds that are keeping you there. When you come in contact with demonic entities in real life, you have to understand that there's going to be some type of bond that's not trying to be broken on the behalf of the enemy. But like I said, we'll speak about that in another day, because it's not as easy as it sounds. But when God is telling you to leave something, it's because it's because He has something better for you. If God tells you to leave that girl, your girlfriend, or your baby mama or whatever, it's because He has a wife for you. If God tells you to leave your boyfriend or stop playing housewife and it ain't really cutting like that, or you're seeing red flags and you just still want to stick around, you have to walk away. Like I said in a previous video, and we'll get into this again in another video as well, about this girlfriend, this baby mother, boyfriend, baby daddy stuff has all been made up. This stuff is from the world. When God made the first man and woman, He said your wife and your husband. This girlfriend, boyfriend, baby mama, baby daddy, that's deception from the devil. There's no such thing. We made that stuff up. Now it is a such thing as whores, though. We'll get into that later too. But just like, He said in Hosea, when he, how people are like, oh, you can't turn a hotel housewife. Hosea didn't say nothing to God. He said, go get you a whore, because that's all that's left in the city. I need you to have some kids with her. You got to do what God tell you to do. I need you to have some kids with her, because it's about to go down. And these kids are going to represent the next generation. Like I said again, like Joseph wasn't like what Joseph did say. He confessing how he feels to God. He like, God, I don't want to marry her. Like, how she a virgin, but she pregnant? Like, she out here. Like, well, that's going to be bad for my rep. He still did what God told him to do. We have to do what God tell us to do. We sow in culture. We so in what somebody else saying, what somebody else doing, what somebody else's relationship look like. It's not realistic. Everybody is pretty much brainwashed. It's a lot of brainwash. It's a lot of manipulation going on. And we spoke about what love is, and it's all start from the biological perspective first, right? Again, back to parents. These people are only renting us. If we were meant to be connected to our parents for the rest of our lives, We will never be disconnected at birth. We would I'll still be connected to my mom literally right now. She'll be standing right here because her umbilical cord will still be connected to me even at this age in life. That's not how it's supposed to go. Sometimes, unfortunately, you can be blessed, born into a cursed family, right? Sometimes, fortunately, the whole family can be blessed, right? God anoints who he wants to anoint. And there's nothing that no human can do about it. And so you shouldn't be fearful about it when God is telling you to move around and he's directing you what to do. We're not supposed to be connected to people forever. The only time we're supposed to be connected, like even when we have kids, we say when they're 18, they're supposed to go. Parents be so scared to let them go because for one, they know they ain't really taught nothing. For two, they might be scared. Like, oh my God, I don't want to let my kids go because they don't have nothing else to look forward to. For three, they're not even doing what they're supposed to be doing on the path they're supposed to be doing. So now they scared to let you go. Now they want to hold you up. Oh my God, you think about going to Hawaii? Like, it's so many sharks there, son, daughter. Like, I don't think that's... You scared. I'm not. It's not all the time that you're supposed to be connected with people for extended periods. Here is another script in Genesis chapter 2 verses 21. It's so many. I mean, we're not necessarily talking about a husband and a wife tonight, but we're just talking about when God said to leave your family and cleave to your wife. But it's so many different scripts just right here in Genesis about a wife like that. The whole whore thing, it's identity theft. It's just a whole bunch of identity theft. My whole thing is when it comes to whores, dudes just be like, we're a little off topic, but we about to come back. Dudes just be like, oh my gosh, he a whore. Girls be like, oh my God, he a whore. Can't nobody be no whore if anybody make you no whore. And then starting from your family, biological, somebody had that Jezebel spirit connected to them because you weren't just born like that. So what you do, you got to take your power back. But let me get back on track. Let me get back on track. Genesis chapter 2 verses 21 through 25. And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which the Lord had taken from man made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And they were both naked, and the man and his wife were not ashamed. We'll speak about this later, but we know that the first man named everything on this earth, including, I'm a woman. Okay, I was named by a man that was blessed by God, right? And it just goes on for generations. It's nothing different. All of this other stuff that's going on is all fake. I'm here to tell you now, that's not how it happened. Men were in control of everything, over the cattle, over the fish, over the air, and men that even named woman to be a woman. One man, that's the ratio. It's one woman to one man. He said, leave your mother and your father and cleave to your wife so you could become one flesh. When God speak about nakedness, that's like your sin. That's like things that you're going through. When they became one flesh, they weren't ashamed. Oh my God, like, babe, you got acne? Where you gonna get your, like, come on. Like, we not about to go out here, you looking crazy like that. Like, I can't believe you breaking out. They were not ashamed of each other's nakedness. Dang, bro, like, man, I wish my girl had some bigger, yeah, boy. They were not ashamed of each other's nakedness. Like, girl, he ain't even packing like that. Like, they were not ashamed. And that's another thing. We've been out here for so long doing all of this stuff that's what we be pressed on, because we so cultural that, oh my God, if he ain't packing, I'm good. Oh my God, if she ain't thick, she ain't strapped, I'm good. Just think about it. If we all did it the way that we was supposed to and waited until we was married, when nobody even know what nobody had, until you were in love already. They were not ashamed of each other's nakedness. Now we be ashamed. That's why I'm supposed to be sleeping with people still. You messing with somebody and now you in bed. Girl, it wasn't. Girl, I swear to God, like, I just wasted my body count. Don't even supposed to be counting bodies. Like, you all know we young. You all know the stuff we be saying, like, girl, I just wasted a whole body count, because he wasn't even on that like that. It don't supposed to be no body counts. It don't supposed to be none of that going on. You don't supposed to be ashamed of each other's nakedness, because y'all supposed to be one flesh. We see that happen down here more in scripture as well. Like Eve eating that fruit. How did she know before she got there that she wasn't supposed to eat from there? Because she was already, and this is the crazy part. This is how you know that God already ordained one man to one woman in general. Because even before Eve was made, even before this man was put to sleep, it says right here in chapter 2 verses 16, and the Lord God commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest eat freely, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it. But how do you go all the way down here chapter 3, and then now the devil is talking to the woman, and she says, but the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, ye shall not eat of it, neither lest ye shall touch it, lest ye die. How did she already know this before she got there? God already knew what he was going to do. They were already connected in the spirit before God even made her. We're going to talk about husband and wives and all those things another day. I just wanted to show that soul tie right there. Back to what we were saying. God said he caused a deep sleep into this man because he needed help. I need you to rest. You've named everything. You haven't found nothing for a helper. Now I'm going to take something directly out of you. What do you call this? I call it a woman. It could be called a woman. God don't have no problem with giving us stuff. He said, okay, she's bone in my bone, flesh in my flesh. She should be called woman. Excuse me. And this is why, let me back up. And this is why, we might have like mustaches. Girl, I ain't gonna cap to you. I began like a little bit of chin hair down here. And I thought it was cute at first. I was like, oh my God, it was curly or whatever. One day I caught myself, I'm like, what the heck is that? But this is why. I'm gonna keep it G with y'all, because science and all that, they'll tell you something else like, oh my God, it's this, it's that. Yes, it is hormones. Yes, some of it is. Some of us produce more testosterone and hormones than others. But at the end of the day, let's speak on the spiritual side and the literal side. It's because we're made out of a man. Like, where do these things come from? It comes strictly from the word of God. But people out here, we ain't gonna talk about all of that. But we will. We'll talk about it another day. But girl, I've been all over this video. But I know you're gonna catch me, honey. But the main part of it is, he said, therefore shall a man leave his father and cleave, he shall leave his mother and his father and cleave to his wife, and they should become one flesh. The entire conclusion of everything, there is some things, there is some people, there are some places that we don't need to be. We think that we can't hear God, but we do. There is too much distraction. It's too loud. It's too much hurt and pain and sorrow and victimization to where we can't 100% hear God. We can hear a message, we can come across something, and we're going to continue to ignore it until you won't be able to ignore it anymore. God asks us simple instructions of us. He asks us to walk away. He asks us to walk away. He asks us to leave our family if we love him. Now, like I said, there is supportive families. There is loving families. There is families that God has ordained, and he put them all in place, and they are all blessed. If This is what I believe. I want you to read for your own belief. But I believe that God wants us to walk away from the toxic families, the families that are holding us up, the families, the mothers, the fathers, the brothers, the cousins, the aunties, the uncles, the friends that will give us up to the governs, the counselors, the psychologues, the people that'll do witchcraft on us, the people that manipulate us, deceive us, and hold us back. I think God wants us to give those people up so we can take up our cross and walk with him. He didn't say it was going to be easy. He said it's going to be hard because you're trying to come out now. You're trying to do something different now. They're going to be trying to come against you, but it's for my sake. You're doing this on my behalf. So guess what? For every man, woman, animal, child, substance, anything that try and stop you, anything that try and remove the number of hairs on your head, that God is the only one that can count. He said they're going to have to deal with him. God saying, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. If you have found a good thing that God has made from you, out of you, he said, leave your mother and your father. Back to Nino Brown, like he said in the beginning of this video. If you lose a good thing, you will try your whole life to get it back and you'll never find it again. It's somewhere, and we'll touch on that, in Proverbs. God says, beauty is vain. I think a lot of the times people looking at what you have, people looking at what's going on, they're not looking at the heart. And this is what God look at. He look at the heart. So if God is separating you for your heart, if God is calling you to do something, you have to do what God is telling you to do. Let down your net and come get some real fish. That's what God is saying. He already told you they're going to be against you, but they can't do nothing to you. Dust your shoulders off and keep it pushing. They don't want to listen to you. They don't want to support you. Don't worry about who want to support you. Don't worry about, I ain't got the money for this. Even if it's $20 left. Even if it's $20 left. Take $5. Get a notebook out of this. Even if you make it under minimum wage or you don't even got no job. Take the $20. Go get you 3 notebooks. Get you 3-4 pens. Write the vision. Make it plain. Next time you get paid or next time you come up on some money, buy the t-shirts. Do whatever you got to do. Buy whatever you got to buy. You don't got no car, that's cool. Hit your ride. Go to school. You got a car and you feel like you being held, you gonna have to go. You gonna have to go. And don't ever look back. At least you turn to a pillar of salt. I keep saying that. Because that's a daily reminder for me, for everybody. Soon as you on the straight and narrow, soon as you doing what God tell you to do, the enemy gonna be right there. Soon as you get baptized, soon as you say, okay, Lord, I'm done with this. This ain't it. The enemy gonna be right there trying to tempt you for 40 days and 40 nights. Don't turn around. Don't go back. Do what God told you to do. Walk away from them people. Walk away from that relationship. It's about to be 2023. It ain't no more red flags. Them red flags is getting crumbly. Like they about to get ready to just fall in a minute. You already see it. God is saving his people. It don't matter what nobody been through, what nobody done. Just be careful if you going around or if you know somebody or whatever and you see them doing different. I need you to be careful on trying to have them go back. I need you to be careful on trying to do the work of the enemy. Because you're gonna have to deal with God. Anytime somebody's trying to stop the work of God, they have to deal with him. I think I said like in another video, just because it looked like, oh my God, they still turning up. Their chariots are faster than horses. Like, why it look like this? I think I did skip a part. God said those that eat last shall eat first. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. As long as you still got time, you can still go forth. Let me see that. Where did I could have sworn I had seen. It's all good, baby. We'll be touching on it. We come back and we be saying stuff from the previous videos, and that's all good. That's all good. But he did say it. He said, those that eat last shall eat first. But whosoever shall deny me before men, I shall also deny before my Father in heaven. Jesus said he didn't come here to be your friend. He didn't come here to be, well, in a nice sense. But he said he didn't come here for all of that. He came here to fight. He came here to fight. And that's what we doing every single day. We got to work on unhardening our hearts. We harden our hearts toward God because what spirits and people have done to us. We're mad at the people when really it's the spirits within them. But we got our heart hardened towards God. That's another reason we can't hear from him. That's another reason we ain't trying to go that way. We ain't trying to do that because I got to cut this off. I got to sacrifice that. But you got to unharden your heart to God. And you got to hear what he is saying into your church. God is telling you to let them people go. God is telling you to go forth. God is telling you to dust your shoulders off. God is telling you everything that's done in the dark is going to come to the light. Now imagine if some stuff come to the light and you don't got the mental capacity to even handle it. You need that strength from God. Just flat out. You need that strength from God. It's the Spirit of God that's in you. You don't have to worry about what you're going to do, what you're going to eat, how this going to work. Am I going to even graduate when I go to school? Oh my God, I'm about to have to take out like $50,000 in loans. Dang, I'm working this job and I ain't even really getting paid that much. Like, is this business really finna go? God said if he's before you, no man can be before. No man can. If God is with you, no man can. If God is before you, no man can be against you. In conclusion, let them people go. Let you know who it is. I know who it is on my end. Let them people go. Pray for them. Ask God to forgive them, because let's be real, we come into contact with people and we can't even be real because we don't sit down and think about it. Sit down and think about it. The people that God is calling you from, and just sit down and think about things that like, dang, they was just as messed up as I am. It's not that you giving them no pass. It was cool. No, it wasn't cool and it did hurt. But you just want to go forth. You want to get new fish. You want to follow God. And it's not a hard requirement to follow God. The things that you think you giving up, it ain't even nothing to give up. It should have never been done in the first place. But due to lack of wisdom, we still gonna just sit around people with lack of wisdom. We still just gonna sit around the same families that don't got no wisdom. We still gonna sit around the same friends that ain't got no wisdom. Because one day wisdom gonna laugh at us. It ain't gonna be no more wisdom. When you ready to finally be like, okay, let me see what's up. It ain't gonna be no what's up. Alexus loves you. Y'all know me, honey. I'm so glad that we got some structure, because baby, I could just talk for decades, and that's what I'm here for. But I try not to get all over the place, but y'all just stick with me. It's always a meaning in these messaging videos, okay? I'm praying that the Lord will help us to leave our family, leave our sisters, our brothers, our mothers, our fathers, our boyfriends and girlfriends, and cleave to the good thing that God has given us. He said, men, cleave to your wives. Ladies, to be real, we got to calm down being anxious for husbands. It's he that finds a wife find a good thing. I don't care what's going on social media. I don't care what's going on or nothing. Be careful, be watchful and vigilant. He will find you. He has to find you in perfect peace, though. Walk away so you can get what God has for you, because God got more fish. Our food is polluted right now. It's a lot of disease. They're even making fake meats and stuff right now. God got real food. Walk away. Don't ever look back. Do what's right. Give your testimony. Don't take the grace of God for granted and just I do it tomorrow. I'm straight on that. I do it tomorrow. It is okay to receive a peaceful rest, but then it's okay to work. Faith without works is dead. Ask God who needs to be released from your life in general in order for you to follow God into eternity. Don't be afraid of what they can do to your body or none of that. A lot of the time, people already just stole your mind anyway. It's all in our mind. Don't be afraid of them. Seek wise counsel from God, and he shall direct your paths, and there shall be plenty fish. He's going to show you and teach you how to be a fisherman. Alexus loves you. Mwah.